Yeah, no, I call all the time the first time.
Yeah, yeah, just call and be like, hey, the first time it ever happened, he was in Australia, gone. But yeah, so you wouldn't want to hit send on it, because even if he signs the things, you know that the numbers aren't right.
Yeah.
So I wouldn't open myself up to a lot of liability to save an $800 penalty that'll get waived anyway. And if he's a new client, just be like, hey, if you never know where you're going to get stationed, let's get you on a track to get me the stuff in May, because you still had 9 months to get it done. You know, what is that old saying? Your
preparing your behalf.
Yeah, your lack of
preparedness. Online.
Yeah, your lack of preparedness does not equate my emergency. Because that's where after this year too, that's what the IRS is going to say anyway. I mean, if it happened 2 years in a row, they'll be like, well, what the hell were you doing in March or April or May or June or July? And then you get stationed out in September with 2 weeks left, and you're like, oh, I can't do it.
Yeah.
So I got a late penalty disallowed by the FTB, Franchise Tax Board, even though the guy had a heart attack and was in the hospital on April 15th. And we got the return in, I think, by the end of May. But their basic response was, well, like, what were you doing January to March?
No, great.
Yeah.
Just looking for a second opinion.
Franchise tax boards are jerks. They're pretty rough on penalties. Anywho, but they do have first-time penalty abatement now. They brought that into effect to go along with the IRS. California never had it before. I think it went into effect for 2022 year. You can use first-time penalty abatement with the state of California now.
Yeah, I did a whole bunch of tax returns for California. Filed about 8 missing returns. All of them are refunds. The state still fined them for not filing on time. I said, but they're all refunds. I said, we're tired. We just don't like the behavior, and they fined them anyway.
Yeah, well, that's where you got to be careful with California as well, because they do have what's called a demand penalty.